Hello friends and welcome. So today I took you to Il Bosco di Balestrate. It's basically the woods, the forest of Balestrate, very close to the beach. Balestrate is known for its beach, bosco, spiaggia e mare, right? So the beach, the water, and the woods. And this would be an example of where a lot of the forest fires happen in Sicily this summer. I'm sure if you've watched the news, it has made the world news. It's been pretty wild because we've hit record highs. So I thought, you know what? This might be a good place to share some yoga. So today we're focusing more on core and back bends. So it's going to be a nice heart opening practice and a good firing up from your center. And these two things really complement each other, right? Working your abs and your back. Okay, so we're gonna start on our belly. We're gonna do a kind of prone shavasana to start. Nice, easy pose where I'm gonna pigeon toe here. We don't normally do that, but just to start, toes are gonna touch, heels are gonna be out to the side. Make it more of an easeful pose. Stack your forearms and then bring your head right on top of your forearms or the back of your hands, or wherever you find comfort. And let's just settle here, really connect to the mat, connect to the earth. Let your shoulders get heavy towards the mat. Find a place where you can just be for a couple of breaths, couple of minutes, and settle in. Let your third eye really press deeply into your hands or your forearms, someplace where you can feel that connection as a reminder to kind of let the thoughts settle there. And then you can find a clearing in the mind and notice what happens when we start to slow our breathing. So it's just the pause, just pausing without really doing anything. Your body will react. The breathing will start to lengthen a bit, maybe even deepen a bit. Got to be really deliberate with our minds, really bringing our focus somewhere. Because if it's not focused, it'll just take us places we really don't need to go right now. So instead, focus on your contact on the mat, what you're feeling, points of contact, elbows, forehead, the whole entire front body, basically. Draw your attention to your breathing and just imagine everything releasing, all of your muscles just kind of letting go of the clenching. Feel into that. Notice your in-breath and your out-breath. Notice the pause between in-breath and out-breath. Pay particular attention to the pauses. Maybe you could hold a little bit longer. So when you reach the top of your inhale, just give it a hold. Just kind of notice. And then when you reach the bottom of your exhale again, hold before you start the next. These transitions, we just skip through. Transition from what was to what will become. That space in between is really the present. And we really skip through that. So let's honor that space in between. The what was and what will become. And it could just start with that breath, with the pauses between in and out, honoring that space. And maybe we can lengthen our exhale. Maybe we can let that go, part our lips, and just kind of breathe out of our mouths, almost like a sigh, almost like a release. I'm going to take a couple mindful breaths like that, and then we're going to start to move. Imagine that our forehead is just glued to our arms, and our arms are glued together. And we're going to lift the head and the chest up. So we're going to take a big inhale. Elbows are going to try to reach up for the sky. We're going to root down through our legs, top of our feet. Try to straighten the toes out now. So keep everything in line with the ankle. Maybe you start to clench the glutes a bit and maybe lift a little bit higher. And then as you exhale, slowly bring it right back down. And release the clenching. Keeping the toes in line with your ankles. Big inhales, take it back up. Inhale, and try to hold for a little bit longer. Elbows up. Maybe come up a little bit higher. Chin away from your chest. Exhale, slowly take it down. Let's do that 2 more times. Big inhale, lift, hold. Notice the shoulder blades, draw them in towards center. Draw the butt cheeks, clench them, so getting those glutes engaged, pressing into the tops of the feet. Exhale, take it down. Last one, inhale, hold. Hold, hold, lift higher, higher, and then exhale, take it down. Release the low back. Let's bend their knees and just windshield wiper side to side. Okay, throwing you right into the fire, right when we start, warming up that back nice and fast. Now release the feet back down. Let's bring our hands under our shoulders. Inhale into baby cobra, just lift a bit. Now let the shoulders drop and bring the shoulder blades together. Throw the head back. Maybe you could open the eyes here, look at the sky. Breathe in that fresh air. Exhale, slowly come down. Now as you come down, we're gonna zip those legs together. Big toes are gonna touch, ankles are gonna touch. We're not lifting the upper body, we're just hovering the upper body above the mat. So just the legs are gonna lift. Again, we're gonna squeeze the glutes, press the feet together. Imagine the inner thighs really drawing in towards center line. And then as you exhale, everything comes down. Inhale, cobra. Now as you come down from your cobra, let's root the forehead to the mat and then lift the legs up. And inhale again. Pressing up from cobra, maybe a little bit bigger of a cobra this time. And then exhale, take it down and let's lift the legs even higher, root your forehead down. Okay, so you got one more of these. Inhale, come up. Maybe even bigger. Try not to straighten your arms all the way if you can, if that's available to you. Resist that urge. Keep the elbows bent a bit. And then exhale, take it down. Forehead to the mat, lift the legs maybe even higher. Hold, squeeze the legs inward towards each other, like you got a big mermaid tail behind you, and then bring it down. We're going to curl the toes under. We're going to come to plank. Now you could either come to plank from your knees first and then take a plank. If you want to do a push-up plank, you're going to press into the hands. Again, squeeze those glutes, tuck the tail a bit, and then press into plank. When you're in your plank, let's make sure that our wrists are right under our shoulders. Let's not let the hips sag too much. The wrists under the shoulders, right? Hips are not sagging, tucking the tail, looking forward, chin away from the chest. As soon as you start to tuck the tail a bit, you're not over tucking, so the tail isn't reaching towards the mat, but it's kind of reaching towards your heels. And as soon as you do that, you'll feel your core start to engage more. We're going to inhale, right leg is going to hover off the mat. Exhale, take it down. Inhale, left leg will hover. Exhale, take it down. And again, we're going to repeat right and left. And right, and left. And then hold. Let's hold for 10 seconds here. 9, breathing. And we go for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2. Bringing the knees to the mat, keeping the toes tucked under. We're gonna walk our hands back. Now I'm gonna bring my towel right under my knees because this is a really hard surface. And I'm gonna sit on my heels. We're gonna start with some footwork. Stretching the bottom of the feet, stretching the toes, stretching the ankles. Closing the eyes, drawing the shoulder blades together, letting the tailbone draw right in between your heels. Let's interlace the hands and do some wrist circles here just to loosen up those wrists. They're gonna be working a bit. And then we're gonna press the palms forward and tuck the tail. Meanwhile, those feet are stretching. Chin towards the chest. Press the floor away, tuck the tail and then the navel. So you hollow out that belly. We're gonna inhale, arch the back into a cow, bring the pinkies back behind you. Straighten the arms as much as you can, throw the head back. We're gonna do that one more time. We're gonna exhale, we're gonna tuck. Press the wall away from you, really extend the arms forward like they're pushing a wall in front of you away. Tuck the navel, tuck the tail. Inhale, arch. And then as you exhale, release the hands, and oh, we get to untuck those toes. We're gonna bring your hands on blocks or the floor, wherever you can touch. Maybe you need to tent the fingers out a little bit. We're gonna lift the knees and stretch the tops of the feet. Maybe you don't need your hands. Maybe we just wanna balance here. The main point is really to stretch the tops of those feet and get into the ankles. Just a couple more breaths. You could even take a bit of a back bend if you want. Breathe. If you have really tight ankles, you're gonna need the blocks. And even if you just lift a teeny tiny bit, you'll get into it. Okay, so hands are gonna come right in front of our knees. Right in front, maybe a little bit to the side. Now our aim here is to keep the toes lined up with our ankles. So we're not pigeon toeing. I don't want those big toes to touch. Try to keep them pointing back. Middle finger, middle toes, big toes, especially pointing back. We're gonna round into a cat back, squeeze the belly, tuck the tail, and then lift the shins up. Kind of like your hips are reaching towards the heels a bit. Chin is going towards the chest, forehead's going towards the knees. This is your exhale. We're gonna bring them back down. Inhale, arch into a cow. So we're gonna do this a few times. Big breath in, and then exhale, tuck. Forehead towards the mat, reach the hips back, and you'll get more into the feet. Also the core, this is big core work. Inhale, back into a cow. All right, and you should feel it in your thighs too. Exhale, let's round and tuck. Okay, we're gonna pick up the pace a little bit. Inhale, and exhale. 5 more. In, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Big breath in. Okay, now this last one, we're gonna come up and we're gonna try to roll over the toes and come into an Uttanasana, forward fold, okay? So we're gonna come up, roll over the toes, and then walk the hands to the feet and fold. Okay, you could turn this into a ragdoll. You do not have to go super straight first Uttanasana of the day. So just ease your way into it. Knees may be nice and soft. Maybe you can grab on your elbows, a little bit of a sway side to side. And then slowly you could start to maybe straighten a little bit more. You'll release the hands to the mat. We're gonna come to a flat back. So either hands on the shins, the mat, the thighs, wherever you could find a flat back. So it is chin forward, shoulder blades together, almost like you want to feel an arch. If you can imagine a cow back, then your back will start to straighten up even more. Shoulder blades together. Feel the weight coming into the balls of your feet, not just the heels. Big breath in, and then exhale, go a little bit deeper. Now we're gonna hinge and come through that flat back with our arms reaching out, pressing into the balls of the feet, coming to stand, arms up by the ears. Big breath in, and then exhale, let's cactus the arms out. Bring the shoulder blades together, hands back, elbows back. Let's go nice and big, clench the back cheeks, bring the hips forward a bit. Hold it here. Inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, again, let's take that cactus. Come forward with the hips back. So think of the upper back arching. Low back is trying to stay straight, tailbones tucked between the legs. Now from here, let's interlace the fingers behind us. Open up the heart even more, let the head go back. Now we're gonna exhale, press into the feet, come through center, soften the knees, come to your flat back. Reaching the hands behind you. Join the shoulder blades together. Now you'll notice when your hands are behind you, interlace, it's a lot easier to find that low back. Now we're gonna bring the arms up and over, and we're gonna fold. Shoulders are going towards the ears. Let's open up those shoulders. Let's bring the hands as far forward as we can. Bring the chest towards our thighs. Now from here, we're gonna bend our knees. We're gonna try to go to perch with our hands interlaced. If not, bring your hands on the mat, that's fine. And then bring the shins to the mat. Come up to kneeling. Untuck the toes, bring the hips forward, clench your butt cheeks, and come into this camel with your hands interlaced. Release the hands. Now let's press the heels of the hands into, and the fingers pointing up. So heels of the hands, fingers pointing up, pressing the hips forward, elbows together. So you stretch the wrists too, and we go into a deeper back bend, and this is gonna encourage the low back to straighten out, so we're not overarching. So you really, the arch is coming from the upper back. And we come back to center. We're gonna sit back on the heels. We're gonna bring our hands back on the mat. Lifting the heels or the shins up, rounding the back, tucking the tail. We're gonna hold for 10 breaths. 9, make sure those feet are straight. Take a look at them, parallel those feet, they're railroad tracks. 4, 3, 2, 1, knees back on the mat. Let's curl the toes under, lift the knees up, have a seat. I'm gonna scooch on my blanket. Okay, so we're having a seat and we're gonna lay to a low boat. Low boat, feet are in front of us. If you want some head support, fingers behind the head, elbows back. Now we're gonna open and close and breathe. Open and close. Toes point out, heels are coming. Stacking on top, alternating, and breathing. For 8, 7, 6, getting those inner thighs as well as our abs. 3, pressing the low back to, or the navel towards the low back. 1, bring the knees to the chest, grab a hold of the shins. Relax the head. Big inhale, big exhale. Okay, so we're gonna extend those legs. You have a choice. You can bring them straight up, that's a little bit easier, or you can bring them at an angle, or you can come right to hover. Hands behind your head again. Big breath in, we're gonna take the and exhale other way. Extend it and switch. Back out and switch. We got 8 more. Extend it. 7, extend it, hold. 6, extend it, hold. Good, 4 more, 4, extend. We could do it. We could do it. Fire up the abs. 2 and 1. And then we're gonna press up to high boat. Hold on those shins for a breath. Open up the heart. Release. Hands are going behind the head. We're gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna take one knee to one elbow and try to turn. And turn. And turn. Good, we only have 4 more. 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Amazing. Feet to the mat, back to that perch, hands to the mat. Big breath in, and then we're gonna exhale, step or jump to your down dog. And here we are, first down dog of our practice, which means we get to be here for a good solid 5 breaths and really feel into it. This will be your active recovery here. So we're going to think of all the things
that this posture has to offer us. So let's just start with relaxing the neck, letting the head hang down like it's going towards the center of the mat. Root down through each patting of each finger, bring the chest towards the thighs a little bit more. Maybe you need to soften those knees. They don't have to be super straight. Soften the knees in order to get that back nice and straight. Lift the hips up towards the sky. And then root through one heel and then the other. Let's just paddle them out. Take those inner elbows, internally rotate, right? So we open up that back. Good, maybe one more breath. Maybe we find a little bit of stillness. Feel into it. Now from here, we're gonna take dolphin, both elbows to the mat. You can go one at a time or you can try to aim for both. Both elbows to the mat. You wanna try to get the elbows in line with the shoulders and let the head just kind of reach through the elbows without touching the mat, hips up towards the sky. Start to work the legs straight. So here we are doing a big shoulder opener, working that back, chest towards the thigh. Breathe here, 3 more breaths, 2. And then we're gonna take it to a forearm plank. We're gonna walk our feet back. Make sure our elbows stay lined up with our shoulders. Tuck the tail a bit, squeeze the glutes, inhale, right leg floats up. Float it up, hold. And then let's take it down, left leg floats up. Hold, take it down. And we swap it out, right? And left. And then we hold for 10, 9, 5, 4, 3, 2. Retake it to Sphinx. Just drop your hips, nice and easy. Untuck the toes, bring the heart forward. Shoulder blades withdraw in. A little after recovery. Let's slide the hands under the shoulders on your exhale. So we're gonna build a little more momentum with what we did in the beginning of class, lifting into cobra and lifting the legs. And we're gonna take this into a swan dive. So it's gonna look like this. We're gonna inhale, come to cobra, and then as we drop, our legs are gonna lift. Again, you gotta keep that mermaid tail. Legs nice and close. Drop and lift the legs, and then come right back up to cobra. Lift and lift. We're gonna do this 8 more times. We got 8, inhale. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold your cobra, elbows back. Breathe. 4, 3, 2, 1. Take it down nice and slow. You're gonna press it back to that plank. On your inhale, you could either take it to the knees or you could go straight to plank. Big breath in and take your plank. Hold, look forward. 3, tuck the tail. 2, 1. Let's heading into a nice flow. Okay, so we're in our down dog. We're gonna take our right leg, bring it up. Now, before we take a twister, let's just stack the hips right on top of the left. Left knee is gonna bend a little bit. And make sure the right shoulder stays in line with the left, so we're not opening up the shoulders, just the hips. Now, once you get that right leg super high, maybe we point it, left knee stays stable. We're gonna bend our right knee. Kick our butt with our right heel, right knee towards the sky. Breathe here, keeping the shoulders straight. Here's our twister stretch, big breath in. Now, as we exhale, we're gonna bring our knee to our nose, round into a hover, chin to chest, forehead towards the knee. Maybe we drop the hips a little bit, hug the navel towards the spine. And then let's put that foot right in between the hands. Now remember, if you need blocks, don't be afraid to grab your blocks. There's no shame in that. We need help with our anatomy sometimes. Bring the left knee to the mat. So if you have a blanket, sometimes that helps with that knee, right? Give it a little extra padding. Inhale, let's sweep the arms up by the ears. Bring the hips forward, find your back bend. We're gonna cactus the arms out. And then press the hands back, let the head go. Find a little lift of the hips so that you could tuck the tail a bit and then let yourself come forward. Reach around and release the fingers. Try to track that fist down the left leg. Use that for some leverage. Big breath in. As you exhale, we're going to come forward. Now you can release the hands if you don't feel steady. Bring the hands to the mat. If you feel steady here and you want to take that challenge, curl the left toes under, straighten both legs, fold over the right leg. Arms are going to come up and over. Maybe you walk the left foot forward a little bit so to help that balance. Very wide Parsvottanasana. Hold, and then when you had enough of that balance, bring the hands to the mat, lift the right toes up. Square off the hips, relax the shoulders towards the ear, forehead towards the knee. Hold here. So I'm pressing into the right heel, lifting the left heel up, and then really just letting myself drape over that right leg. Breath in and out. Your next inhale, you're going to push off that left foot, root through the right foot, lift the left leg up. Standing split. So we work on straightening that right leg, work on walking the hands towards the right leg. And the left leg is not a dead fish back there. It's very active, nice and straight. Bringing the kneecap up towards the thigh, engaging the quads, straightening the right. Now, next inhale, I'm going to bend the left knee, tap, bend the right knee. Both knees are going to bend. This is my exhale, I'm going to round into a cat. And then inhale, come right back to standing split. Let's do that 3 more times. Bend the right, left is going to tap right knee. I'm going to round into my cat, and then I'm going to inhale, lift. And then exhale, round. Inhale, lift. One more. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. Now I'm going to bring that knee in. If you feel steady, try to come to stand with that left knee up. Bring the arms by the ears. Find your steady spot. Okay, so we're all going to meet here. We're going to take a big breath in, and then as we exhale, we're going to bring our elbows in towards our hips, and we bring our knee towards our chin. And then we're going to inhale, take it up. So we're going to do that a couple times. Our knee stays in line with our hip, and then it lifts higher than our hip. And then inhale, and exhale. And squeeze your navel as that knee comes up. Squeeze it. And 3, and 2, and hold, squeeze, 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 and then inhale, come to stand. Nice. Take a big back bend here again, cactus the arms. Hold that cactus, reach around and release the fingers. Go a little bit deeper, squeeze the butt cheeks, let the head go. Exhale, you're gonna pass through your flat back. Arms up and over. Bend the knees, release the hands, come to your low boat. Now let's kicks, little baby kicks. Point the toes, flex the feet, whatever you want to do. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, come to high boat. 5, 4, maybe we bend and straighten. 3, 2, 1. Let's press back to that perch. Knees to the mat. Hands on, heels of your hands on the low back. Open it up, big breath in. A little bit deeper. And then as you exhale, bend the knees, lift, and jump or step back to your plank. Now we're going slowly down onto our bellies, bend the elbows nice and slow. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's take 8 swan dives. We're gonna inhale, take it up. Exhale. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take it down, curl the toes under, press yourself back to plank. Tuck the tail, hold, and let's dip the hips. Dip one hip, and then the next. We go 8 dips, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take your down dog. A little active recovery here. Breathe. Think of all the things. Pay attention to those pauses between the in and the out breath. Let that be a reminder. Drop yourself into the present right now, what's happening, what you're feeling. Take the left leg up, 3-point pose. Before we take twister, let's do an open 3-point pose where the hips stack left on top of right. Maybe we take that left leg even higher. Square off the shoulders. Point the left toes. Then take it to twister. You go even deeper. My knees going up to the sky. My heels kicking my butt. I turn this into a hover plank. Bring the knee to the nose, around the back. Foot right in between the hands, right knee to the mat. I'm going to sweep my arms all the way up. Anjaneyasana. It's like someone's pulling my hands up and then back. So I'm finding length between each vertebrae, coming up even higher. Maybe I let the head go back. And maybe my arms can meet my head. From here, I'm going to interlace the fingers behind me. Let that fist track down my right leg. Maybe I can find my knee. Big breath in. And then if I feel steady, I'm going to exhale, come forward. Keep the hands interlaced. And both legs are going to straight. So right knee, right toes curl under, right? Straighten both legs. If you feel steady, bring the arms up and over. Some days we just feel steadier than others, you know? Some days we just feel like nothing can knock us over. We feel strong and resilient. Other days, we need a little extra help and a little extra support. And noticing that is all that matters. That's the practice, is noticing the days we need a little extra and the days we can handle it. Let's lift the left toes up, chin to the chest, forehead to the mat. Let the hands just rest on the mat here, and let this be your active recovery. Shoulders are going to drop, or you're going to go a little bit deeper. It's about noticing where your limits are. How deep can you go? Are you not allowing yourself to go? Are you holding just something that's constricting you? Maybe notice that, and then allow yourself to go a little bit deeper. Maybe give yourself permission to fully drop in. Surprise yourself. See where life takes you when you're just opening up to possibilities. You're going to push off that back leg, root through the left foot, and find your standing split. Walking your hand towards your foot, letting that right leg just touch the sky. Now, I'm going to bend both knees. My right knee is going to tap my left knee. I'm going to round into a cat back. And then inhale, take it back up. And exhale, in, round, inhale. 2 more times, we bring it in, we round. And we inhale, kick it out. Last one, we bring it in, we round, we inhale, kick it out. Now we're going to take that knee and we're going to bring it up to stand. And if we don't feel steady today, we put the foot down and then we bring it up once we get to stand. We breathe in, and then as we exhale, elbows are going to come towards our hips. We're going to round our back a little bit, knees coming towards our chin. And then we inhale. Knee stays in line with the hip. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. 5. Squeeze that belly. 4. And 3. And 2. And 1. And then place it straight down. Reach the arms up and then cactus. Find your back bend. Interlace the fingers behind you. Open it out. Squeeze those glutes. Make it bigger. Throw the head back. Exhale. Find your flat back first. Weight is on the balls of your feet, not just your heels. Come all the way over. Shoulders towards the ears. Bend the knees, have a seat, and come all the way low. And we're going high. We're going low, and we're going high. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. We got 10, 9, 6, 3, and we hold. Hold, arms by the ears. Straighten the legs. 8, 5, 4. Whoa, don't fall. 3, 2, and find your perch. Knees to the mat. Untuck the toes. Hands in front of the knees, right out to the sides. You know where we're going here. We're gonna take a big breath in. We're gonna exhale, round into your cat. Make sure your feet are straight. Maybe the big toes are touching. Maybe our heels are touching. Reach back for the heels a bit. And then tap. We have 10 of these. Here we go. 10 and tap. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Woo! Let's sit on our heels. Take a little pause. Let the heart rate settle. Let ourselves find our breath. So allow it to find its own rhythm. Close your eyes. Feel into it. Shoulders drop, tailbone tucks just between the heels. Draw the shoulder blades together. Open up the heart. Press into the heels. We're going to take a full camel if it's available for you. Otherwise, you could still just stay here, press the hips forward. So camel, either curling the toes under, a little bit more of an easeful way to get into your camel with the toes curled under. Or if you want a little extra challenge, untuck those toes, start to reach the hips forward. One hand at a time is gonna go towards the heels, but you don't wanna be back with the hips. The whole idea of camel is to get the hips in line with the knees. You wanna find a nice arch and you wanna stretch the throat, let the head go back, shoulders relax. Breathe here. 4, and 3, and 2. Press into the knees, come back up. A little shift side to side. Okay, hands on the net mat. Let's take a tabletop. Let's round and tuck into a cat. Maybe rock side to side a bit. Inhale, take a cow. Maybe we do some hip circles. Open it up. Side to forward and back. We're gonna go into our last plank. We're gonna hold it. We're gonna do a combination of things with this last one. And then we're gonna start slowing it down, okay? So extend one leg down and then the other. And you're gonna hold. Hold and tuck. Okay, so we're gonna start with lifting legs 10 times. So we got 10 and 9 and 8 and 7 and 6 and 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. We're gonna take it to elbows and we're gonna do those hip dips. Now, legs are just like one leg, it's a mermaid tail. And we're gonna dip right hip towards the mat. Maybe you tap it, and left, and right, and left, and 10, and 9, and 8, and 7, and 6, and 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Hold. Hold for 8, 7. Don't give up. You got this. 4, and 3, and 2. We're not done yet. We're gonna come up onto our hands and hold for 10, and 9, and 8, 7 and 6 and 5 and 4 and 3 and 2. Slow onto our bellies. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Woo! Bend the knees. Let's take a windshield side to side. We have one more pose, and then we'll head to Shavasana. So it's yogi's choice here. You could take a bow, or you could take a wheel, or you could take a bridge, whatever you feel called to, or you can do all three. So if you're taking a bow, we're going to grab one ankle and then the other ankle, or you can grab the tops of your feet, whatever you could hold on to, or you use straps. Keep the knees in line with each other, lift the hips, or lift the thighs, and let that kick of the legs pull your chest up. A big back bend here. I like to do a little rocking, like a rocking horse. Shoulders draw together. And hold. 3, keep going higher if you can. 2, and then release. If bow's not your thing and you rather do wheel, turn over onto our backs. Let's press the heels of our hands into the hip crease and push forward and up. We'll get some length in our vertebrae first. Open it up. Okay, so either we do a bridge or a wheel or both. If you just want a bridge, press into the feet. Bridge is actually a back bend. And how is that? Because our arms start to walk in towards each other. We interlace the fingers and we walk those arms under the shoulders, chin away from the chest, and there's an arching and a lifting. Pressing in the heels. And we try to keep knees in line with hips. So try to avoid the opening or the collapsing in. Now you can either keep holding that bridge. If you want to take a wheel, heels of your hands press into the mat, fingers press towards your feet. I like to go to the top of my head first. Lock my hands in maybe a little bit more and then lift. Maybe you go up, lift the heels, go a little bit deeper. Bring the heart through your arms, straighten the arms, let the head hang. You hold for as long as you can here. And when you're ready to come down, come onto the top of your head. Let your feet out. And let's give our knees a nice hug. Bring them in, rock them side to side. Release that low back. Maybe take a little happy baby. Grab the outside of the feet. Bring the knees on the outside of the hands. Pull them in towards your armpit. A little rocking side to side here. Massage the low back. Did a lot of work today. A lot of back bending, a lot of core. Good setup for success. Hands over to a T, knees over to the right. Gaze over to the left. I just sometimes my side just to let's take it through center again to the other side. Gaze over to the right. And breathe. Look over your right shoulder, close your eyes. You'll notice your breath starting to settle down. And then we'll take it to center. We're going to extend the legs straight out. Find our Shavasana. Pinky toes are heavy. Let the inner thighs relax. Bring your hands to your side, towards your sides, and bring the palms up towards the sky. Here's the gesture of openness, of accepting what comes without criticizing, critiquing, judging. Also, it's a way to release the shoulders towards the mat a little bit easier. We settle in here and we feel into the good. It's very easy for our minds to attach to the bad. Our minds are like Velcro for the bad. It's part of our human conditioning because the bad is knowing what the bad is keeps us safe. But the problem with that is it's like Teflon for the good. So the good doesn't stick. We just pass right through it, pass right by it. Sometimes you barely even notice it. We got to train our minds to notice the good and to sit with it longer. So here is our opportunity to sit with the good and notice what this whole practice has done. What is the good that happened here? What is our body's response? Endorphins coursing through our veins, the bliss. Let's sit in that. The muscles releasing the tension, those clinging, that tension that we hold constantly, habitually throughout the day without noticing. Feel into the release of that. Feel what that feels like. Embodied, become part of your body in a way that's so pleasing right now. Find the joy in it. Let's train our minds to really inhabit the joy, to inhabit it longer than we even feel comfortable doing. Just really sit in it. See what happens. See what opens up. And when you notice the mind wandering to a place that doesn't need to go right now, bring it right back. Even if it's uncomfortable, sometimes that's what we need to do. We got to sit in the discomfort in order for it to become comfortable. That's what expands our comfort zone. Next inhale, let's reach our arms up. Let's point our toes. Come to this nice big body on. Exhale, bring the knees to the chest. Roll over to one side. Press your way up to seated. Next inhale, we're going to float the arms up and draw the head back. We're going to watch the hands come together as left meets right. Yin and yang meeting in heart center. On your exhale, we follow our gaze to our hands and we bow to our namaste. Thank you, friends, for joining me on this final practice in Sicily for this season. We'll be back in Sicily, I'm sure, soon enough, but you can join me on the mat in New York and any place else in the globe that I'll be traveling this year. Okay, thank you once again and namaste.